Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. In the last episode, there was kind of crazy time paradox weird shenanigans. I don't even want to talk about it. You did some weird stuff, but at least the volcano's out. So we're gonna go up there and we're actually gonna jump in the volcano because we're crazy heads. Because we need to rescue Princess Peach from Bowser, and they apparently jumped in the volcano because they're also crazy heads. But that's okay. However, of course, it's never gonna be that easy. See, we have a cutscene, and well, basically, first of all, the little thwomp of a flower, he's actually a dude. I actually thought this was a flower at first, although if you can actually recognize this symbol, it kind of gives you a little hint as to his role later on. However, he's actually depressed because we took out the lava, and apparently jumping into lava is also a thwomp's favorite policy. Why is everyone jumping into volcanoes these days? This is just like mass idiocy here, but whatever. I mean, who jumps in a volcano? Seriously. But anyway, Mrs. Thwomp over here, the little Geodude looking thing of a Monobrow. Seriously, look at that Monobrow, it's ugly. Is gonna fight us because she's angry that her husband is depressed. So welcome to Mrs. Thwomp, and this is your boss battle. Actually the second time to record this because the first time I did, I didn't realize actually the trick to be in this boss, but once you figure it out, it makes this boss really easy, even though it has two phases, and it does switch back and forth between the phases a lot. The thing is, the phases have really low health, and actually are health-based instead of time-based this time. So, well, we'll just go ahead with an old favorite here, pocket jumps! Take that! But yeah, seriously, I mean, is that thing not a Geodude? Just look at that thing. That's definitely a Geodude. Also, I guess technically the first female thwomp we've ever seen, so apparently Geodudes are female thwomps. I don't know. Kinda weird? Maybe. Also, why do the female thwomps have monobrows? I don't know, they're kind of ugly. I mean, look at that thing! It's freaking huge! And look at that anger. You, madame, need some anger management issues. Of course, she's not going to get any of that when we're jumping on her head of a giant thwomp. Or, well, not jumping on the head of a thwomp, but we're jumping on her head a lot. Why can't they? Why do Mario and Luigi need pocket chomps in order to spur them to jump on enemies? I don't know. It's kind of silly, but there we go. As you can see, we didn't even finish the pocket chomps because we only got about 116 health or so, probably about 115 actually. Before she breaks into four pieces, now only one of them is real. And that is where the trick that I didn't realize actually comes in, because you attack them all, I mean, it's going to take a while to actually beat them. However, if you look carefully, only one of them has a perfect disguise. As you see, one of them has a chip in the side, and the other two have broken teeth. So attack the one that's perfect here, which would be the top one in this case. So we're going to attack them with a good old other favorite, copy flowers. Honestly, copy flowers is such a useful item. Them and a couple other items just very useful. Probably the most useful item in the game. I don't know. It depends on the enemy you're fighting, obviously, but the whole successive nature of them, and among other things, just a very, very, very useful item. You can do a lot of damage to these things too if you get really good at them. Unfortunately, did not do so hot there, but still did a pretty decent chunk of damage. 110 is still a lot. You're not gonna be able to do that much damage in this fight anyway, because, like I said, not that special. But let's talk about her attacks. As you can see in this form, she basically bounces around. And depending on which eyebrow of her creepy monobrow she raises, you can tell which bro she's going to attack. Now here I'm actually going to attack one of the duds, just to show what happens if you beat one of the duds, because, why not? This is a short enough episode as it is. Probably should have spaced things out a little bit better, but like I said, it's actually the second recording. The first time this boss took forever, because when you don't actually know, I mean, you have to kill each one of those thwomps then. But you attack the right one enough, and they'll automatically kill the ones, which, by the way, Micro Goombas, yay! Mrs. Thwomp also has another attack. You saw her shockwave attack before. The number of times she spins in the air, by the way, for that attack actually determines how fast the shockwave goes. But this one, she shoots rocks, you use the hammers to break them, and you actually get items for doing so. So, thank you, Mrs. Thwomp, for giving us useful items for your attacks. I don't know, I mean, it's not a very hard attack to dodge. Just watch out, she's kind of random and quick with which bro she attacks, so be ready at any time to switch bros. Or she might just attack in the middle and be a dud, but whatever. So we did pocket chomps, we did copy flowers, we even did green shells, we even spun attack her to the face. So let's go ahead and do trampolines and let's see if we can finish this form off in one hit again. As you can see, I mean, she really is not that hard of a boss. The thing is, you just switch between the forms several times. Although it looks like we're not getting a chance to finish it here because I screwed up. Stupid Mario, why'd you break the trampoline? As you can see, a little bit bigger on her form here. Well, one thing also is, I guess the advantage on her behalf on changing forms is actually you can't really do much. You can get stat down of ice flowers, but it doesn't last because when she switches forms, it actually goes away. So unlike Kamek, where you could use the stat down to determine which one's the real one, you cannot do that this time. You can only it'll go away, so you won't be able to tell which one the real one is. You literally have to do this game of which one is the wrong one. And as you can see, the top one is once again the right one. Actually, that's just a coincidence. It could be any single one of them. Yeah, there's a chip and there's the two broken teeth ones. So it'll always be like one that has a chip in it and then two that have wrong teeth. So look for, I mean, stupid Micro Goombas, they can't make good disguises. They don't know how to impersonate a Geodude from Monobrow. Seriously, I just love the... looks like a Geodude with a Monobrow. I just can't get over that. It's great. But you know what? We're gonna spin attack this creepy Geodude in the face. In the face. Okay, that was a little late there. Whatever. Baby Mario's gonna keep spinning and spinning and spinning because you spin me right round. Geodude, Monobrow, woman, baby, right round. I don't ever want to say that again. Ironically, I'm actually not killing this form in a hit. I'm not sure actually the HP values. I think they kind of vary depending on, like, you know, which phase it is, because you actually have to do each phase 3 times. So 3 times of her being big and 3 times of her being small before you actually defeat her. Which means we're already over halfway done. Oh my god! A boss and partners in time that's really quick? That's impossible! That's impossible! But unfortunately, it is actually possible. Well, whatever, we'll get Ice Flowers here. You get a lot of Ice Flowers in this game, and honestly, they never really are that useful. Later on, you'll actually get items that are way better in the hitting all department as well, so I don't know, I guess I mean, getting stat down is always useful. I mean, if you can get those down in bosses, it's always nice too. I mean, we actually got one of all 3 kinds here, so not really gonna matter too much because, I mean, she's probably almost at the end of this phase anyway. I think they, you know, as much as I hate the long bosses in this game, they really could have given her a little bit more health. Unless I'm overpowered here. Maybe I'm overpowered because the whole this whole segment has actually been pretty easy. So maybe all these like stat boosts I've been getting have been actually like really starting to pay off here, which is always good. But no, I mean 114 damage. I mean, I've been doing way more than that Pocket Chomps long ago. So not really. I mean, yeah, I think she just kind of suffers from low HP really. But you know what can you do? You deserve a boss here and there. I mean, it's a Geodude with a Monobrow. I keep saying that, but I mean that's what it is. So, I mean, what's there to fight, really? Okay, it is the top one again. That's kind of weird. I know it isn't always the top one. At least I hope it's not always the top one. That'd be even simpler than usual, but I think it's just interesting coincidence, I guess. But obviously you don't want to be using any also, yeah, just to mention, you don't want to be using any attacks that hit more than one enemy in this phase. So, Pocket Chomps or Trampolines, do not use them in the face because it'll attack all the enemies and there's no reason to do that. So focus on the things that attack a single enemy, which is green shells, cannonballers, and of course, copy flowers. And that's why copy flowers is good, because you can target one enemy, which is usually what you want to do, but then be able to damage other enemies when you're done with that enemy. Very useful thing to do. But as you can see, Mrs. Thwomp is already dead. Thwompy Pie, you beat me. Dude, you weren't even a challenge. Stupid man, treat ladies nice. He's such a gentleman. I love this Thwomp, actually. This Thwomp is actually, this is the best Thwomp ever. I'm just gonna say that right now. He's such a gentleman. He wants to help us save pretty ladies, so we're going to go into the volcano. Not too bright noses, but dumb heads. Bright noses? What? What are you talking about, dude? You don't even have a nose. You're a freaking piece of rock. You don't have a nose. Shut up about my nose, foo. Anyway, we're gonna ride the Thwomp into the volcano. As you can see, the little flower pattern actually is one of those things that, you know, all 4 bros step on in order to proceed to the next room. So that's actually what the pattern means. However, Luigi's an idiot. He's dancing in the Thwomp, and he forgot his baby form. Dude, that's your younger form. I went over this a couple of videos ago. Treat your younger self nice. That's you know. You're gonna remember this when you're your age. Wait, that makes no sense. What is with this? What is time in this game? The whole time thing makes some really weird situations, doesn't it? I mean, I almost think they did all that time paradox stuff on purpose. But anyway, this guy talks, has got this guy in you're too heavy! Excuse me, princess! Yeah, I had to do that, I know. And she gets pissed off because we called her fat, and she hits into the volcano. Although that's exactly what we wanted to do anyway, so whatever. Jerk! But yeah, I think they made this time paradox thing so full of plot holes on purpose at this point, because it's almost funny the kind of ridiculous plot holes you can come up with, I guess. Now you know why you treat ladies nice. Or, dude, you could just marry someone who's not a complete and total jerk face. Then again, that's just how life works sometimes. Anyway, before we close this video out, we're gonna go ahead and check up on our favorite foe. It's Bowser and the really creepy mushroom face Peach. And he is actually deep in the volcano, and he likes this place. I mean, it's one humongous fire hazard. So he wants to build a castle here, but oh my god, talking about time paradoxes here, it's young baby Bowser. Oh, young baby, yeah, so that's, you know, that was unnecessary. But anyway, it's Prince Bowser talking to Big Bowser. It's like, yes, more weird baby adult interactions. Why not? But actually, this is a great cutscene because they both are kind of ticked off at each other, and they don't really get along at first because they're like, I want to build a castle here. No, I want to build a castle. They don't even realize that they are actually each other pretty much. So I don't know, kind of weird. You're just such a rude brat. You're one rude dude, Tubby. Who raised you? Change. I guess. Just freaking awesome dialogue. I do love the Bowsers in this game. They are pretty funny. But with that, actually, this is LuckySevenDX signing out. What will happen to the Bowsers? We'll find out soon.